Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin board heroes here at Zak's Traders Cafe. It is Friday, the 11th of July. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has obviously fallen back on the latest, I was going to say idiotic tariff developments, but here we are. We've backed off from the top of the channel there at 90.30, which we were looking for to be hit by the end of this month. And now testing for support. I suppose the obvious area would be for that red rising trend channel, the breakout channel, if we actually get to do that. And that's around the 88.40 level, so above that. Still looking for the market to break through the top and head towards as high as 9,200 by the end of next month. We do break down, then the 50-day line there at 87.54 is the obvious destination. Moving on to the DAX, and here you can see that we've got a market that is pulling back from the record highs, gapping down, in fact. So initial support there, probably the 50-day line, 23,800, and still on track for the top of that channel there at 25,000. But obviously, as we've had periodically in the recent past since April, the Trump tariff issue does keep on rearing its ugly head. On to the Dow, and here the situation has been that we've been, I suppose, lagging the other markets. We're in a range really between 44,000 and 45,000. Need to get that 45,000 plus end of day close or weekly close to give us the top channel target there as high as 47,400. Looking for that by the end of next month if we are lucky. Otherwise, on the downside, the old June resistance there towards 43,100, the area to look at. The other point to note is the way that the 50 and 200-day lines are both rising. Probably about a week away now from a golden cross, and the run up to a golden cross is normally the strongest part in the cycle. The market at the moment, by quite some distance, is Bitcoin, and here we were previously looking for 125,000 by the end of this month as a sort of best case scenario target. Looks like we might get there ahead of schedule. The top of that channel there at that level, in fact, possibly a little bit higher than that. On the downside, the old 112,000 peak that we had in May, hopefully support if we do have a pullback. But what is interesting here, obviously, is the way that we've got a lot of companies who bought Bitcoin in the recent past with their treasury strategy, and they're now actually sitting on a profit. Next up is gold, and here the position is that we've been trying to stay within that rising trend channel from the end of March. We've been hanging near to the 50-day line around current levels, which is encouraging, so around 33.20, and above that 50-day line looking for 34.40, which is a resistance line there from back in April. Ultimately, looking for a best case scenario target here at 3,800 by the end of next month. On the downside, hoping that recent support 32.20 will remain in place and would be a potential buy point if we resume our rally. RSI just below neutral 50, so need a little bit better price action today and Monday to get this going again. Onto the stocks, and starting off with Argo Blockchain, company I didn't think I would be looking at again, but it looks as though there's been a bit of an overshoot on the downside. Obviously, Bitcoin mining very early 2020s, I suppose. Here we've got a falling trend channel, top of the channel there at 3p. And if we can stay above the floor of the gap there, we're looking at a potential move to that area, maybe over the next few weeks by the end of the month. But we need to stay on the right side of 2 pence, I think, to get that particular target in play. Moving along to Coinsilium, and here it's interesting that we've got a situation where Bitcoin price has gone through the roof, but the shares, for a change, have just remained roughly the same. In fact, flat on the day. That seems a bit weird, given that these Bitcoin treasury strategy companies are a geared play on the upside of Bitcoin. So looking for an end of day close here above recent resistance at 25 pence. To give the shares a chance of heading up to the top of that rising trend channel at 40 pence, maybe as soon as the end of this month. The key here, obviously, is remaining on the right side of 50 pence, rather 20 pence, which it was 50 pence, and also above the 50-day line there at 16 pence. Next on the list is Defence Holdings, which seems to be trying to revive its big rally that it had basically at the turn of the month in June. Here we bounced off the 50-day line. Previous target here was around the 0.47 area, and we're looking for that to be hit over the next session or two. After that, it's 0.6, which was the peak on the way down. But the key here is that we stay above that rising 50-day line at 0.36, which it looks as though we are fully capable of doing. I tweeted out Futura Medical yesterday after doing the Bulletin Board Heroes, was looking for 15 pence over the near term, and I think we've come pretty close to that. In fact, the top of the triangle there around the 15.5 pence level. So looking for that in coming days, but it's interesting that we've had such a revival. Next level up, which is the serious level, would be up to 20 pence. And ideally, we get that by the end of this month, while we remain above yesterday's closing price, around 11.5 pence. Moving along to Georgina Energy, and here, despite crackpot commentaries, the shares have managed to rebound within a broadening triangle. So that was the sort of the development there. That line of support there, falling line of support, worked there around the 5 pence level, and we've had a nice little U-shaped turnaround. So the upgraded MRE I think we had earlier in the week seems to be kicking in for the shares. Looking for 13 pence if we can get a decent end of day close above the 50 and 200-day lines there at 8 pence. So a rebound in place there. Interesting chart at Microlyze. It's almost as if something's going on. We've got a step rebound there. We've had a bear trap rebound from below a rising 50-day line, and that step progression very, very strong. So vertical move sideways and then vertical move. Looking for up to 145 pence by the end of this month. On that situation, perhaps some good news is waiting in the wings. Myriad Advertising, stock which has tried to and is keeping on trying to recover here. I said it looked a bit like a cup and handle pattern, which I suppose takes a lot of imagination to come up with. But we are making our way towards the initial target there, that top of that broadening triangle there at 0.022 pence. Above that, rather better rewards around 0.05, which was resistance on the way down back in May, but obviously a difficult situation to chart, just given the way that we've had such an extended decline. The other point to note is that today we've got the price action actually above the 50-day line at 0.014. So if you're fussy, you'd want the shares to remain above it. Onto a stock with a rather more straightforward chart, and it's Matetech with this wide rising trend channel. It looks as though the shares are stirring again after the gap to the upside that we had last month. That rising trend channel there has its resistance line projection as high as 46 pence, and we're looking for that by the end of this month while we're on the right side of 35 pence. On to Rockfire, which seems to have had a second life in terms of its share price rebound. We had a gap to the upside above a rising 50-day moving average. Initial target here, obviously the 50-day line there at 0.11. Above that, actually we're looking for full-blooded reversal or revival up to 0.22 by the end of next month. But the key here is staying on the right side of that 50-day line, just under 0.09. Onto Rockhopper, which has a decent rising trend channel here. Bull flag above old resistance, so looking for 70 pence here while we're above recent support at 56 pence. So hopefully we'll see the shares continue their recovery over the near term. Moving along to the situation at Smarter Web, and here again, the comment is one of surprise in the sense that got Bitcoin going through the roof. I think it's already up 4%. It was up decently yesterday. So why is the share price not up, given that every $1,000 in Bitcoin has a big impact on the balance sheet at Smarter Web. Anyway, as far as the upside is concerned, yesterday's support area around 350. We're really looking for an end of day close through 410, 420 recent resistance to then get us back up to 500 pence plus hopefully by the end of this month. Finishing off with Wishbone, which has managed to hit every single target on the nose that has been suggested for it in the recent past. Current situation is that we are left guessing where the next level will be, and that's provided by the old July peak, so around 1.1 pence. Looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain on the right side of 0.6 pence. That should probably do the trick, but you can see the shares have hit the third target there, and I'm obviously just soaking up the adulation. That's it for me today. More updates over the weekend.